Hello and welcome back to the Cats of the Underworld podcast,
aka Ko2,
aka Ko2 podcast, the podcast where we talk about internet stuff, personal stuff, and anything going on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what you said in the last podcast, but
yeah,
I think that sums it up.
Worded slightly differently.
Yeah. Today we are going to interview my dear friend and partner.
Yep.
Chip
I
Flake.
was going to say friend.
Friend. Got friend zoned, bro.
No, after 10 years I got friend zoned.
Yes. Chip here is going to answer some questions. I prepared quite a lot of questions.
Oh boy, I'm excited.
But they should not be too long. We'll see. I guess before we start, a quick word from our sponsor. No, I'm kidding.
Debated.
Debated. If you have any questions for Chip, leave them in the comments below, and we might do a follow-up episode. Anyways. First question.
No, getting straight into it.
Dear Chip, how old are you at the time of this recording?
Hey, I also had that question in mind. We didn't know each other's questions, by the way. That's what makes this interesting.
Yeah.
I am currently 24 years of age.
24.
I am about to turn 25 though.
Almost a quarter of your life, bro.
Don't say that, please. That's being generous as well. That's implying that I'm gonna live that long. You know?
It would be epic to live to 100 though, right?
It would be epic doesn't mean it's gonna happen though.
Imagine saying you're 100 years old.
Yeah,
you're a fucking
pretty swag.
What is that? A century? No. What is decade? It's a decade.
That's not.
No, that's not a decade. What is 100?
Century, I think.
It's not century. Century is like. Wait, no, it is. 18th century, 19th century. Yeah, it's a century. Okay, sorry. What is your favorite color?
My favorite color is red.
Amazing. What is your favorite food?
Oh, that's a hard one. I think my favorite food is sushi.
Sushi's pretty good.
It's the kind of thing you can always eat.
Yes, I love sushi, bro.
There's certain foods that I love, but if I eat them too much, I get tired of them. Never happens with sushi.
Yeah, that's true. You get
sushi.
tired of Chinese food a lot, even though I can eat Chinese food all the fucking time. But yeah, sushi is one of those foods you can have all day.
Hell yeah.
All day, every day. What is your, I think you're holding it right now. What is your favorite drink?
I really enjoy unbranded, zero sugar, maximum tastes, includes caffeinated drink with low calories and sweetener and no sugar.
You could call it Beppis Maximum.
I prefer to call it Popsy.
Popsy, yeah, sorry. Everyone knows what that is. Did you have any pets growing up?
Oh, I've always grown up with cats. Many cats.
Yeah, you had a lot of cats in your life.
Yeah, not all at once.
Let's reword the question. What was your first pet?
Actually, funnily enough, my first pet was a dog.
Oh yeah, you did say that before.
I was too young to remember, but
how old were you?
Only probably 1 or 2 years old.
Damn.
For some reason, we had a dog, a little those really annoying kinds of dogs, the really small ones.
Chihuahua?
No. I don't know what breed it was, but it was just a small annoying dog. And,
okay.
I think it was kind of unfriendly, and that's why we got rid of it and got cats instead.
Oh, damn.
Funnily enough, the cats were also unfriendly, and we had to give them back too.
Damn.
Yeah, the cats that I've owned with my family, they've always been rescue animals. So
that's nice.
Sometimes you adopt a cat or a dog and stuff, and they don't they don't get along with you or like feel comfortable in your home, so you have to like give them back and get a different one, I guess.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of weird when I put it like that, but
Yeah. So how many pets in total did you have in your life?
Oh boy. So I guess dog is one. Then we got 2 cats that we gave back. Then we got 2 more cats who we had for a very long time. Those are the ones that I remember the most.
Was one of them Brian?
Yeah, that was Blackie and Brian.
Oh,
the 2 gay cats.
Yeah, they were gay. They were very. I still remember Brian. He was really cute.
He was like super grumpy though.
He was.
It was funny because he would like sit on you.
Yeah.
Because he like wanted to cuddle, but you would pet him and he would like growl at you.
Damn.
Like, don't touch me, you peasant.
For anyone who doesn't know, we've been together for quite a long time now, so I still remember some of his pets. Almost 10 years.
Where am I at? 5, and then Blackie died first, so we got a different cat then, and we had like this massive, like heckin'. He wasn't a chonker. He was just like a big boy.
Chonker.
Yeah, the problem was they were always outdoor cats.
Oh yeah.
Which is, if you get a cat, it's a lot better to like make it a house cat and not let it go outside because environmental reasons, and also the cats can get hurt very easily, which is what happened to most of them, which is kind of sad. The ones that didn't, die of old age.
Did you have any cats run away from your home?
I think that's what happened to Charlie.
Yeah.
Because he just disappeared one day, and never came back.
I remember he once disappeared for like, how long? Like months? And he just came back one day acting like nothing happened.
Yeah, acting like nothing happened, actually.
That was
he was such a personality.
Yeah.
That happened with Blackie as well.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
Cat moment.
Let's switch up the questions a little bit. Where did you grow up, and in what kind of environment did you grow up in? Deep question.
So, is that a deep question?
Kinda, I guess.
I grew up in Staffordshire in the UK, which is in the West Midlands.
West Midlands.
And, one of the, like, poorest counties, I think.
Yeah, it's one of them. Especially the city where you lived in.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I grew up poor, but I grew up like on the lower end of middle class, I would say. Like, my mom still like did as much as she could to provide for us. I always like had food and stuff.
Yeah.
Got gifted video games and stuff on my birthdays and stuff. But I wasn't like well off, You could definitely tell that my mum was, trying to save a bit of money every now and then, buy the really cheap version of the colas from Asda for like 20 cents kind of thing,
We have a lot in common. Okay. Next question. How did you start out drawing?
That is an excellent question that I don't really know the answer to be honest.
Or what was your first drawing, if you can remember?
Oh, nah, no idea.
Too
don't
small.
remember that. No.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I guess it was just that kind of thing, when your kid is like growing up and you're like trying to find things to keep it busy. I guess I just got given paper and pencils one time, and ever since then I've always just been drawing for fun. I've just found it fun for as long as I can remember. Yeah.
Nice. What was your aspiration to become a YouTuber?
Aspiration. Sorry, I thought I had to burp. It was a false alarm.
Like, why did you decide to become a YouTuber? What is the reason?
Okay, so when I was in college, in the UK, college is where you go between high school and university.
Yeah,
it's
Americans.
free. You don't have to pay for it, and you don't get as high of an education.
You also don't get as high as in American colleges. Hey,
Heyo.
Heyo. Sorry.
Or do you? Anyway. I never went to university, is what I'm saying. I never paid to like go to art school or whatever. But
you didn't get rejected from art school either.
No,
That's
because
good.
I didn't apply.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What are you implying with that?
Nothing. It's okay.
Fucking Germans.
Just, getting rejected from art school could get you to do some crazy shit.
Anyway, I basically didn't know what to do with my life. I was like, okay, I like drawing, I like animating. I guess I'm gonna do that as a job, ? But then I was like hella depressed. And the idea of going to university for 3 years and, being stuck there for 3 years whilst not really being 100% sure it's what I wanted to do, that made me even more depressed.
Damn.
And, I was kind of like you. I've been watching YouTube like since 2007,
That's
always.
when it started. 2007, I think. No,
It started in 2005.
2005, you're
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
yeah. I think 2007 is when it started in, like, Germany.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I, like, distinctly remember it being 2007 when I discovered it and started getting really into it. And back then, I mean, as a kid, you kind of watch those kinds of things and you're like, oh yeah, that's a thing that exists. But you can't really conceptualize yourself actually making those things. Especially when it comes to like animations and stuff, until I discovered a little community on YouTube that was making these what you call animation memes.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Literally just like a drawing, a character, usually a furry, dancing to a song. And they were all made by 10-year-olds, just like me.
Whoa.
And that was the turning point where I realized, yo, I can actually do this. And that's when I like said to my mom, can I buy a drawing tablet? My first drawing tablet was beautiful. It was...
Was that the Wacom?
No.
You had a different one.
It was from Trust, which should say everything.
Trust. Very nice.
But yeah, so I had already been making YouTube videos since I was like 11.
Do you remember your first YouTube video?
Yes, I do. That was I used to take pictures of Pokemon from Google, put them into MS Paint, and I would make like little slideshow stories of them. Very. What are you laughing?
Your face. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But yeah. So I had already been doing that for a long time as a hobby.
Yeah.
And during the time I was in college and like being depressed about what I wanted to do with my life, that's when the whole animation storytime genre started to blow up.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And that's the kind of content I looked at, and I was like, I could really picture myself making this type of content. It seems fun, it seems like I like drawing and stuff, so... And I was like, doing YouTube as a job, that would be perfect for me right now, considering I barely have... I was like barely dragging myself to college in that time. Like,
Yeah.
I skipped so many days because I couldn't freaking get out of bed. And it was like, YouTube is a job. You can make your own hours. You work on it when you have the energy to get out of bed. You can do it remotely. You can do it anywhere. You can move to Germany if you felt like it.
I got some questions about that later. Don't spoil it.
So yeah, that's basically why
Yeah.
I decided to do YouTube.
Let me
It's a
come
job.
back to the furry community you were talking about earlier.
The what?
I actually
didn't
do not
say
have
that.
any questions about that because at the time of writing these questions, I didn't consider that. But when you made those early videos, were you a part of the furry community? And if you did you know what it was? Like have you heard of it and you were like, oh, furries, what is that?
Yeah, so I was kind of part of it back then, but I wasn't like officially part of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like 2017 when I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna accept it, I'm a furry.
Yeah.
Because before then, you know, I kind of like grew up on the internet, on like internet forums and stuff. And back then, furry hate was like a massive thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I was always told, you know, those furries, they're really gross and cringe, and you know, you don't want to be a furry. So I was like, okay, I'm just a guy who likes drawing animals, even though it was very furry. So yeah,
Yeah. I've always heard of furries on the internet back then, but I honestly didn't think much of it. I was just like, oh, you know, fucking people can do whatever they want, you know, as long as they don't break any laws, do anything stupid, illegal, anything like that, you know, just let people do whatever they fucking want to do, bro.
I'm ashamed to say that it took me a while to get to that point. Like I was pretty easily influenced by those kinds of people back then, being like, you know, don't like speak to that group of people, they're weird, you know.
To be fair, that was the cool thing to do back then.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of just wanted to be cool, like the freaking I was like an 11-year-old who wanted to be as cool as the 15-year-olds I was talking to on these internet forums.
Yeah. It's like how early YouTube, it was like okay to like make fun of like radical feminism, that kind of thing.
And minorities in general.
In minorities, yeah. I can't do that anymore, obviously. Yeah. If you still think that's okay, leave. I'm sorry to say this, but fucking go with the times. Anyways, let's go back to YouTube. Who was your biggest influence on the decision to being a YouTuber, making storytime videos, if you have any?
Let's see. I honestly took influence from a lot of different creators, because as well as the storytime community, there's also this, I think there still kind of is, this other smaller sub community called the commentary community, which is a very
that kind of
the thing with that term is that it's a term for multiple different groups of people. So when I say that, depending on what kind of content you watch, you're probably thinking of something completely different. But the specific community that I'm talking about is people who would use like a character, like a drawing, a character to represent themselves, and they would just like talk about things, like their opinions on things. So my idea for the channel was always to be kind of a mix of that and a mix with the storytime thing. So, you know, my like talking about my opinions on things, but being a bit more personal than just, you know, presenting news, saying what you feel about it. And if I were to name one particular channel that's probably influenced me the most, it's a very generic choice, I guess, for storytime animators, but the odd ones out was definitely a big influence.
Oh yeah.
Mostly because his channel was just like the perfect proof of being like, this concept works. If you do this kind of concept, it's gonna be successful. You know, I mean, people enjoy this.
Look where he is now. I mean, shooting for the stars is an understatement.
Yeah, I mean, this was back when he had like 100k subs.
Yeah, I remember watching him when he was not as big. That was crazy.
Because, you know, I never looked at this this genre as being like like a cash cow or something.
No.
Like it was just, okay, you can do this style of content. You know, you could get up to 100k subs. That was like more than enough for me.
Yeah.
But as it turns out, it became a hugely popular genre, so it worked out for me in terms of like the timing and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you started off with story time stuff.
Sort of. I mean, yeah.
That's what got the ball rolling.
Yeah, I mean, in the very beginning, it was still this kind of weird mix of story time and quote-unquote commentary.
Yeah. If there was one thing you would have changed about your approach of becoming a YouTuber, what would you have changed?
Well,
do you have any regrets?
I guess. Because the whole thing with the story time stuff and why I stopped doing it eventually is that I quite literally ran out of stories that I felt comfortable telling. So I've always thought about, you know, if I were to completely start over, it would be really cool if I would just make an entirely fictional character and have them tell stories, you know.
Like fictional stories or real
stories?
Yeah,
like it would be the point being, you know, it's not tied to reality anymore. I wouldn't have to, you know, I mean, I guess I could technically make up stories on my current channel if I wanted to, but I don't feel comfortable doing that when I've always been truthful, you know?
Yeah.
So I always thought of the idea of making an entirely fictional channel from the start, you know? You have, like, no... what's the word? Nothing tying you down to reality. You can make cool stories about whatever you want, and you don't have to worry about, you know, should I really be talking about, do I really feel comfortable telling this?
I guess the question I should ask you is, if you had the option to start over, would you do it?
I mean, I kind of do have the option to start over. You know, I can always make a new channel and do fictional stories and stuff. But I'm pretty satisfied with the direction that I'm taking the channel in now.
Oh yeah.
You know, instead of just getting rid of the channel, starting completely over and stuff, I was able to adjust my approach to the content and figure out a way that works better for me and that people still enjoy.
Yeah.
So,
I guess that ties in pretty well with my next question.
Ooh.
What are you hoping for the future of your channel?
I don't really know. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really the kind of person who thinks about the future a lot.
Yeah,
I'm more of a like
realist, in the moment kind of guy.
Yeah. Take it as it goes. I don't have any solid plans for what I want to do 1, 2, 3 years from now. I don't have any solid goals for what I want with the channel. I'm pretty satisfied where it is now, honestly. I guess, I don't know, it's kind of hard to, because you can always be like, oh, my goal is to get 5 million subscribers by 2025 or something like that. But with content, like YouTube content designed for an audience, I feel like it's really difficult to make goals like that, because you don't know if people are actually going to be interested in that. I don't know how big my potential audience is. I might have already reached my potential audience and it's not going to go up from here. You know, I don't want to set those kinds of expectations that I'm never going to realistically hit, you know?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I feel like 1 million is like the number where most people are like, okay.
Oh yeah,
like,
definitely.
I don't need more.
I never even expected to get past 100k, honestly.
Yeah. It's crazy when you hit the 1 million. That was crazy. Let's shift away from YouTube and talk about Germany.
Germany.
When and why did you move to Germany?
Well,
looks at me. It's all my fault, guys. I'm sorry.
why are you apologizing?
Nah, I'm just kidding.
So I moved to Germany in summer of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we're going back to the law.
Chip law.
Yeah.
Let's go.
This was as I was finishing up college and, quote unquote, preparing to go to university. And I was just really, I really didn't like the idea of going to university. I was already in my third year of college. If you don't know, typically you only do 2 years of college in the UK. But I was able to do a third year for free because I was under 19 years old.
That's nice. I guess.
Because I did a course called Art Foundation. It's like a course it's like a class you do. You only do that class. You don't have any other classes. And it helps you to prepare for applying to universities and stuff. You build a portfolio, build up even more artwork than you did in your last year and stuff, and it's pretty helpful for that. Obviously, the main reason I took it was to give me more time to think about what I wanted to do. Ended up being a pretty good choice. Because then I was I already 19 when I moved, or was I still 18? I was an adult either way.
Yeah. No, you were over 18 already.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't have moved here while I was a minor.
No.
So I was just like, I'm really not enjoying my life here in Staffordshire. And I just so happen to have this boyfriend who lives in Germany, who I am very much in love with. And we've been together for 4 years? 5 years?
At the time?
Let me do some quick maths.
2013 is when we got together.
4 years, yeah.
4 years, yeah.
We've been together for 4 years. And it's interesting because up until that point, we were always kind of, being long distance, you think about what's going to happen when we move in together, who's going to move where and such. And I guess we were always kind of thinking that you would move to the UK because you can speak fluent English.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that.
But, at that point of me, questioning my life and stuff. And luckily at that point, that's when YouTube was starting to pick up for me. And, it was starting to become kind of viable.
It was a crazy coincidence.
Yeah, I was very lucky with the timing.
It was insane.
That was when I got the idea, what if I just moved in with him, So that's why I moved to Germany in 2017.
Nice. Good answer. On the topic of living in separate places, do you prefer to live in Germany or the UK?
Definitely Germany. It's not that I hate the UK as a whole. I think I just have a lot of bad memories tied to where I grew up, and growing up in a not super well off county. Not a lot of opportunities there and stuff. Even when I wasn't considering moving to Germany at all, my plan was always to move to a different city, at least.
Yeah.
I always had Manchester on my mind, for example. So if I'd have lived somewhere else, maybe I would still like the UK. And I mean, it's not that I don't dislike the UK. I like a lot of things about it. I like visiting, And I definitely miss being fluent in the language. It makes things pretty difficult sometimes, not being fluent in German. But it's honestly a really nice country to live in. Again, I feel like I can't generalize the entire country because, I've only lived in this one state, in this one city.
In the West.
But in this particular area, it's very nice. My rent is very cheap. There's I can walk to the city. I don't have to frickin' take a bus just to get to a shop.
Yeah. Also, we always have the option to visit other countries by car.
Yeah, I've traveled so much since living here just because there's the country borders other countries, it's a very nice and clean country.
The EU is a great place.
Yeah,
to be
pretty epic. Especially also now, I just kind of feel like the UK is getting worse and worse almost.
I wonder why you say that.
In terms of the political situation and such.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty glad to be here right now.
Let's go back to Germany. I know you've answered some of it already, but what is it about Germany specifically that you like?
You?
Me?
I mean, this could be the worst country in the world. I would probably still move just to be with you.
Yeah, good point.
But yeah, I guess it's just the stuff that I listed earlier about it being clean and stuff. And I don't know. I guess I just feel almost safer here in terms of, I kind of feel like if everything went to shit and I, ran out of money and everything, I feel like I would be pretty well supported by the government and stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a lot better than the UK with that kind of thing.
Kinda.
What do you not like about Germany? Is there anything you dislike?
It's mostly... don't take this the wrong way, but it's mostly the people. Don't get me wrong, there's lots of very nice people in Germany, but there's also lots of... People are just a lot more stern, I guess, over here.
Yeah.
People are super friendly in the UK by comparison.
Germans are very hit and miss, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a difference in culture, I guess, but...
Yeah.
People freaking stare at you and they speak to you as if they already have the assumption that you dislike them.
Yeah. Germans are very nosy. That's another thing.
Yeah.
We always want to know what's going on.
And as someone with social anxiety, it's kind of difficult for me sometimes.
Yeah, I get that. This next question is...
Oh boy.
Might be going a bit too hard into politics, but was Brexit a mistake?
Okay, I didn't expect you to ask that.
It's kind of a out of nowhere question.
Yeah.
I thought it would be funny if I would ask that.
I mean, I think you know my answer.
I do, but might be interesting.
Yeah, I think even people who voted for it can accept that it was a mistake, by now,
Yeah.
It's objectively made things worse for the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It also made it worse for us, actually.
Yeah.
For a time, we were scared that you weren't going to get the German citizenship or you wouldn't be able to actually live in Germany. And thankfully, because he moved before Brexit went into effect, he was granted permanent residency.
Yeah, that's
because of the EU, because the EU is a great fucking place. Okay, sorry.
That's another thing that's been very good about Germany. They are very supportive of, all immigrants, really, not just UK ones.
Yeah.
But with all of their policies and stuff, they seem very I feel as if they respect the fact that it's not my fault that the UK is leaving, so they're not gonna make things difficult for me as somebody who moved before Brexit, you know.
I feel bad for people who are trying to move now.
We're pretty lucky that, you know, things happened before all of that stuff happened. Still makes things pretty annoying as somebody who has family in the UK. You know, sending them stuff is annoying now. Even like flying and stuff is more expensive.
Yeah, it is. I remember flying to the UK once. I got a crazy fucking deal. I paid 40 euros to get a round trip. I stayed for 2 weeks and I paid 40 euros for the flights.
So
they were 20 euros each. Can you imagine that? That's like cheaper than a ticket to go through the entirety of Germany.
Yeah, I think Brexit kind of played a part in that, but it's also, you know, planes and stuff have gotten more expensive in general.
Yeah,
it's also a part of it.
Inflation, you know.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more question for you.
Oh boy.
It is the deepest one yet.
Oh boy.
The last question of this interview with Chip. Chip. What is life?
What is life? What is the meaning of life?
I expect a very eloquent answer.
Well, I don't know. Life is just a thing that exists. And, you know, I don't know. That's another thing. I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about, you know, what is the meaning of life and all that BS. Very much like, you know, we exist, you know, that's a fact. So you might as well take that and just try to enjoy what you have as much as you can. I honestly feel like there's not really a point in thinking about stuff like what is life, what is the meaning of life and stuff. You're just gonna like, I don't know, you're never gonna find an answer to that, I feel like. So what's the point?
Yep.
Might as well take that energy and spend it on enjoying yourself as much as you can.
I'd say that's a good answer.
Yay.
Yeah,
Did I
good job.
pass the test?
You did.
I got a good grade.
You get an A star.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That was all of my questions.
Wowie.
I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed answering them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fun conversation.
I think I had some bangers in there.
Some bang.
Yeah. And thank you for watching and listening.
Feel free to leave some questions in the comments for the follow-up interview.
Like I said, what he said. Send some questions in the comments. We might do a follow-up episode with questions from you guys.
Yeah.
And that might be really interesting because, you know, we've known each other for 9 years now. We're running out of ideas for like asking each other stuff because we pretty much know everything about each other. So,
well, my idea was, I don't know, we're doing like this interview thing. And it was my idea, by the way, just saying.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
And all my questions were kind of based on things that I find interesting about you, and I felt like the audience would find interesting about you. But I think it's a cool idea to let the audience themselves, listen to your story and be like, oh, actually, I would like to know this about him, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the whole idea behind the audience questions version of the interview podcast. So
I mean, I had some good questions too. Right?
Yeah, I wasn't saying anything.
Okay. We can have an argument after this episode.
No.
Okay, let's end it. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, hit the bell.
Thank you for listening.
And thank you for listening.
Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Good day, evening, night, morning. Bye.
And tune in next time.
See ya.